G'day, my name's Wilfred West from Loch Sport, Victoria, Australia. Today's date is the 7th of the 4th, 2015, and it's 10 past 10 in the morning, and we're going to go for a drive to Loch Sport Bakery, then from the bakery down to Surf Beach. Then we might go for a drive around town, just to have a look at it, because it is raining. This is the time at the present moment. It's 14 degrees outside, so it's not a bad day. I've done 97.6 kilometres. It's used a fraction of the diesel. So, without further ado, we'll head off. I do hope you like this video, and if so, please subscribe. The Maggie seems to be having a bit of wait for the worms to pop up.
Raining? Beautiful weather.
Beginning in Brisbane, a shower or two, a possible storm and expected top of 30 degrees. In Sydney, showers possible, 24 forecast maximum. We should reach 16 in both Canberra and Melbourne. Both cities, 15 Saturday, Adelaide showers, 18 raining,
1 diagnosed with skin cancer in 2000 and again in 2007.
We laid on beaches in Spain and France, places like that, and we just soaked up the sun. And the only sun oil was, it was oil, and it was just a deeper in your tan, it gives you a better tan. It shines like a bridge when you shine it like that.
Message sites are dating now to Australian airs, but the British are only just getting it.
Cover art and hat and glasses, and the civil phone is the same, at least practice.
Dr. Emma Smith from Cancer Research UK.
And all something very important in Australia. I know it's Mexican, we're very good at dressing up. So we're hoping to keep safe people in the UK and reduce the number of people getting skin cancer.
Do you look towards Australia for ideas, for inspiration, and how to mount this kind of campaign?
I think Australia do it very well. I recently a children playing in the streets with their people yet. I think Australia has done really well with the messaging, and it's something we hope to map and be up there with Australia and consider it too.
Around 2,100 people die each year in the UK from skin cancer, and for a country which doesn't see that much sun, that's an alarming figure.
Barbara Miller with that report. It's a feature of modern day existence that that more and more of us are sharing our lives online. It's all out there on social media sites, and you have a certain degree of control over what you post. What happens to the account when you pass away? According to a survey carried out by the internet-based market research company YouGov, 1 in 5 people believe that the next of kin inherit that online content. 1 in 4 say they don't know who owns it at all. So what's the answer? BBC's Clive Coleman has been investigating.
You really can tell she's a real performer. She was very, very funny. I always thought she would have had brilliant children's entertainment.
Louise Palmer's daughter Becky loved sharing her life on Facebook. When she felt terminally ill with a brain tumour and lost speech and movement, Louise would log in with Becky to help her stay in touch with her friends. Becky died in 2010, but Louise continued to access her account to feel close to her daughter.
When you've lost a child, you become very, very fearful that other people are going to forget them. In the early weeks and months you get lots and lots of support, but eventually people start to drift away. So to be able to go on there and read not only what people have put on their wall, but private messages that people had sent as well, it was reassuring me that she wasn't going to be forgotten.
But then Facebook locked the account. Louise wrote to them explaining the tragic circumstances of Becky's death and expressing her desire to keep reading the private messages on her daughter's page and to keep it tidy. She received this reply.
Hi Louise, we're very sorry to hear about your loss. Per our policy for deceased users, we have memorialised this account. The wall will remain so friends and family can keep posted in remembrance. Unfortunately, for privacy reasons, we cannot make changes to the profile or provide login information for the account. We apologise for any inconvenience this may cause. Thanks for contacting Facebook.
In the old days, our treasured memories came in the form of a photo album, a paper diary, physical things that could be passed on in a will. Now, in our virtual lives, our memories, our thoughts, feelings and images are stored on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and WhatsApp. Who actually owns them? Today's YouGov research, commissioned by the law firm reveals an alarming lack of knowledge. 36% of people believe Facebook owned your online content after death. 20% thought next of kin inherited. And 1 in 4 didn't know who owned it at all. So who does own our online material? Mark Keenan is a solicitor with Mishcon de Rea.
It's a legal minefield. People are just not reading the terms and conditions, and what we're seeing is a real increase in disputes between competing family members and the service providers. We should be planning ahead, we should be making a will, and we should be identifying the people that we trust to look after your affairs once you've passed away.
Last month, Facebook offered customers in America the option of deleting an account when they die, or appointing a friend or relative to take control of some parts of it. But that doesn't apply here. In a statement, they said,
when a person passes away, their account can become a memorial to their life.
sense of that was my legacy. Her online store should now be mine to be able to access.
Many cherished memories of Becky locked up online. She relies increasingly on a few home videos for comfort.
The BBC's Clive Coleman with that story. The Rolling Stone magazine has now officially retracted a discredited story about an alleged gang rape at the University of Virginia. The article gave a young woman's harrowing account of being drugged and gang raped in a campus fraternity. But almost as soon as the story emerged, questions were raised about why the reporter never attempted to verify key elements of the story. CNN's Sarah Cannon reports.
The Rolling Stone story shocked both the campus at UVA and the nation. 7 men accused of attacking a young woman over several hours on alleged gang rape during a fraternity party. But along with the outrage, there was suspicion. Details began to emerge about the night the woman, named Jackie, says she was raped.
I think the most clear in the Rolling Stone piece that, it was almost too perfect of a story.
Jackie's friends Alex Stock and Ryan Duffin say they were with her the night of the alleged attack in September 2012. What they remember is very different from what Jackie told Rolling Stone.
The article said that she was beaten, hit in the face, that she was barefoot, that she was bloodied, and that her face was obviously beaten. Is that true?
No. I didn't notice any sort of physical injuries. I didn't notice a lack of shoes. I didn't really notice anything.
There were other discrepancies about where she was raped, where they went on their date, and in the most strange twist, Jackie had asked her friends to text with her date, and the pictures and text messages he purportedly sent later appeared to be fake.
There's a very good chance whoever was texting was dead. There's a definite possibility.
As the story began to fall apart, Rolling Stone admitted they never contacted the men Jackie had accused. They also admitted that Alex and Ryan were never interviewed by the writer of the story, even though they were quoted in the article. Rolling Stone said it had taken Jackie's word and failed to fact-check much of her story. That's left towering questions about what's real and what's not.
Nothing's real.
Last month, Charlottesville police said their investigation found no evidence that Jackie was raped in the way that the story portrays. But they were clear not to accuse Jackie of lying, leaving open the possibility that something bad might have happened to her, perhaps somewhere else. Her friends tell us they believe it's possible they'll never know exactly what happened to Jackie.
CNN's Sarah Cannon.
But nothing happened to her.
Let's go now to Paul Ladder. He's running traffic network.
Good morning, Slanks Creek in Brisbane. Queens Road, a Royal Parade has been a crash in the last half hour. Lights still out at run corners, a power outage in the area, so be careful on Warragul Road with lights blacked out. As we head towards Sydney, cars on fire at Forestville. At Warringah Road, eastbound O'Reilly Avenue, only one lane is getting through. At Glenfield, a crash on Canterbury Road and at Fawcett Street. Emergency services are on site. And a broken down bus at Rossdale, he's just got himself going. So Bay Street, Princess Highway, westbound, traffic should recover pretty quickly. ACT is fine. Now look into Melbourne, a crash on the west gate. It's westbound around the City Link, so you're going to have some delays heading out of town towards Geelong. At Springvale South, Athol Road, Olympic Avenue, you've got an accident, and so too at Fitzroy at Hargrave Street and Reeves Street. Excellent if you want to do the run through Hobart. I'll look across towards Adelaide. Still at Headley Beach, Grange Road, westbound is closed at Michael Street due to an accident. Diversion is via Frederick Road. Good news elsewhere, the Salisbury Highway crash at Dry Creeks, Tapley's Hill Road at Fulham, Main South Road at Trott Park, all those accidents have now cleared. Look across towards Perth. Burns Beach Road, the on-ramp southbound to the Mitchell, truck's blown a tyre, so little bits of rubber all over the place. The crash, Great Northern Highway, Warbrook Road, at Bullsbrook, police remain on site. All points of the compass affected with delays. I'm Paul Latter. More ABC News Radio traffic in half an hour.
And it is time for an ABC News Radio update. It's 11 a.m. in the east, 10:30 in South Australia, 10:30 also Territory, 9 a.m. in the west.
ABC News Radio.
My name's Wilfred West from Loch Sport, Victoria, Australia, signing off. Thank you for watching my videos, and all comments are welcome. You all have a great day now.